Cars and trees line the streets, the narrow lanes and the cul-de-sacs, a picture of tranquility. This is Strawberry Hill in Twickenham, an upmarket middle-class suburb of London. A bit sleepy, but quite endearing with its parks and nifty homes. But behind these closed doors, hidden away from the public view, lies a truly magical world. A world that has become a refuge for an animal that could soon become extinct. Welcome to Sue Kidger's Hedgehog Hospital, a sick bay for no less than 44 hedgehogs. A special place for one of Britain's most loved and fast disappearing prickly creatures. All the hedgehogs here have a past, but under this roof, it doesn't matter where they came from. Many have been delivered to her doorstep, sick and injured. And over the years, she has driven many miles around the country to save the lives of a species on the edge of disappearing from our woods and gardens.
Remember time we'd been out and come home one night, and again my husband popped outside for a quick cigarette and said there's a small hedgehog in the garden, and I knew that little ones had to be a certain weight before they could hibernate, so I brought it in and didn't really know what to do with it, so I contacted the animal hospital at Putney, and one of the nurses took it from me and looked after it during the winter. Then I started reading up more and more, and in the meantime I started doing voluntary work with the animal hospital. So the next year, when another hedgehog came in the garden, I knew more about it and I started to look after them, and it's escalated from the first year there was a couple, then it went to 12, and now it averages over the winter about 50, so it's 44 at the moment.
Sue is a unique woman. She treats all the hedgehogs like her very own children. For her, this is a mission. She takes care of each one of them. She cuts their nails, cleans their ears, and takes care of them every single day. She set up the hospital 8 years ago. This year alone, 140 hedgehogs passed through her hospital. She's on call 24 hours a day and well equipped with basic medications and other equipments to nurse sick hedgehogs back to health.
The fox comes along and thinks, oh, what's this? And will take a bite out of the back of the youngster's back and thinks, oh, that's not very nice, mouthful of spines. But the damage is done.
Over the past 10 years, researchers have seen the numbers of hedgehogs decline, from about 2 million in the 90s to about 1 million in recent years. That means about half the hedgehog population has vanished. Natural England is a body that advises the government on environmental issues. It is said in a report published recently that hedgehogs may just be 16 years away from extinction. Academics at University of London's Royal Holloway College are researching why.
One of the big issues is the increase of numbers of badgers, but they've always been living together, so it's not only badgers that are now causing this decline, but this together with changes in the landscape, like in the rural areas, cutting down of hedgerows, making it less inhabitable for hedgehogs, and therefore they're more prone to predation by badgers.
Britain's love affair with the hedgehog is an old one. The name was coined in 1450 in England, as they were commonly found in the hedges in farms across the country. But it seems that their plight has not reached the public's attention. Hedgehogs will be becoming extinct soon.
Oh no, not really. I didn't even know that they existed.
Report out that says that hedgehogs may be extinct in 16 years. What are your views on that?
I haven't really thought about that because I don't really think about hedgehogs on a regular basis.
The kids' love affair with the hedgehog, however, is alive and well. If not with the one under the garden heap, the one that bobs up and down on the computer screen. Introduced way back in 1991, the Sonic Hedgehog computer game has become the UK's most popular video game among children.
He's blue, which is my favourite colour, and he wears red shoes, and he has spiky hair, which hedgehogs do have, but he doesn't have. He has arms, and he walks on his legs, but hedgehogs walk on their hands and feet instead of their legs.
I do like hedgehogs very much. I think they're quite fun. I think it's sometimes a hard game which I like.
So what can be done to save the prickly ones from extinction? we decided to travel to Oxford to meet a trustee of the British Hedgehog Preservation Society and author of Prickly Affairs.
Now, one of the arguments I have with many people is that the measures of the value of ecosystems are often done in birds, insects, and bats. Now, all of these things can fly, obviously. Hedgehogs cannot. This means hedgehogs are perhaps more representative of the value of an ecosystem.
We asked him, what should the ideal garden for hedgehogs look like? This is his garden, one of the most hedgehog-friendly spaces in the country.
A little bit of chaos. You want to have places where there's shelter for hedgehogs. You need to have, I don't know, ivy growing up walls. You want to have piles of vegetation rotting in a corner. You need shelter. You need to have places where hedgehog food will collect and grow. So you need to have things that are rotting. You need to have mushrooms and fungi growing out of things. You need to have insects eating those. You need to have hedgehogs eating those insects, because obviously it's what hedgehogs do. And you need to allow the hedgehogs to move around in the environment. So you don't want to have a totally rigid structure which is impermeable. I mean, basically, the best thing to do with your garden to make it hedgehog friendly is to get out there with a large hammer, smash up the decking, destroy the patio, and knock down the fences. That is a really good start. Then use the rubble from the patio to make a nice rockery. Put some mud on that, put some flowers in there, and let the hedgehogs run riot eating the slugs which will inevitably come.
During the summer, the garden comes alive with hedgehog footsteps, seen here in a recording of a prickly creature walking about in Hugh's garden. The disappearance of commonly found animals like the hedgehog does not bode well for the future. The secret may just lie in putting one's own backyard into order, or shall we say, a little bit of disorder.